All right, this chapter here is going to bring out your creative side. Now, we're going to be talking throughout this chapter about making shapes and adding cool styles to those shapes and rearranging those shapes and all sorts of fun stuff. Sometimes when you're DVD authoring, actually a lot of times when you're authoring DVDs, you kind of feel more of like a technician than an artist, and the art stuff is really what gets me going. So it's good to be able to take a break from the timelines and the menus and the linking and all that stuff and kind of play around and make things look cool. So I'm going to go under the general set in the library and open up the element menu. And I'm going to select the standard type tool. This tool right here next to it is the vertical text tool, and this will make text going vertically, which is not really what we want. So I'm going to select the regular text tool. And you'll notice that if I put my cursor over here, I get the standard text cursor icon with little brackets on the side of it. Those brackets indicate a lot. They tell me that if I click here, I will create brand new text. If I move my cursor over existing text, that those brackets go away and I just have the text cursor. Well, when those brackets are gone, this cursor is telling me that if I were to click, I would edit text that's already there. So I could use the right arrow keys, then use the backspace key to type something different. Cool stuff. And to accept text, you want to select the selection tool. Now I could also add text where there was none before. Click the type tool again, and again we get these brackets here. So now I'm just going to click and just start typing. Chad Perkins presents. Now, text isn't where I want it, so I'm going to select the Move tool. And click and drag on this and put it where I want it. Put it over on this side. And if I click the Selection tool, and then click somewhere else to deselect that, you'll see that this text is not very legible, mostly because of the color. But in the next movie, I'll show you how to adjust that text, but we're not there yet. We're also not going to talk in this segment about changing button text. That's a little bit different story. We're actually going to talk about that in a movie later on about the black arrow and the white arrow. Now, one other thing that we can do to make our text legible is to add a drop shadow. We'll talk later on in this chapter about this super sweet styles panel that'll allow us to add all sorts of crazy styles, including drop shadows. But if you just want to add a drop shadow, there's a quicker way to do that. I'm just going to go select the type tool, select my text, and then hit the selection tool. That'll automatically select my text. Then go to the object menu and just click drop shadow. And just hitting drop shadow from the object menu doesn't turn it on. You have to come over here to this checkbox and check it in order to turn on the drop shadow. And so we see the drop shadow here. And typically drop shadows are added to create a sense of depth for text, to make text kind of come alive off of a page. Now this drop shadow kind of dwarfs my text, which isn't that cool. So I could take down the opacity, maybe make this faded just a little bit. It's just kind of like a nice little accent to it there. I can also change the angle that the drop shadow is on. So let's say I wanted to make it look like the light is coming from the bottom of this DVD area here. And so it would create a shadow in the upper right here if it's coming from this angle. We can also increase the distance. And increasing the distance, generally, actually let me take down my angle back to about 120 or so. The distance gives an illusion that the text is actually farther off of the screen the higher the distance. Now we can also create some interesting effects by adjusting the size, which creates a blur kind of around the shadow, and then the spread. So if we play around with these settings, we can create more than just a drop shadow. We can make this really interesting kind of halo type effect. Click OK. Very nice. If at any point I want to turn it off, I can go back to the object menu and select drop shadow. This time I'm going to uncheck it and hit OK, and now no more drop shadow. But really this is just the beginning of creating text. In the next movie we're going to talk about the all-important character panel, which allows us to get in and really adjust our text to our liking.